A bank is a place that will lend you money if you can prove that you don't need it. Bob Hope. Hello and welcome to the Durham Talents Channel. My name is Jesse Durham. For today's installation in our quotes series, I'm going to share a quote from Bob Hope. Now, I can't help but think of Bob Hope and black and white movies from my childhood. Funny guy. But he had this quote that I came across this past week where he said, "A bank is a place that will lend you money if you can prove that you don't need it." Now, the place that I first heard a saying that's similar to this, and perhaps I should cover it as a separate quote, is from Robert Kiyosaki. He has said that banks will lend you money when you don't need it. Here it's super similar. So the principle that automatically jumps into my mind when I hear this quote from Bob Hope or that sentiment repeated from Robert Kiyosaki is the golden rule. Now, in his book, R. Nelson Nash has some human problems that we have to address. Parkinson's law, Willie Sutton's law, some different things. One of those is the golden rule. Now, the golden rule, simply put, is he who has the gold makes the rules. So we can see this. Banks have capital that folks are coming and asking permission to use. And then it's on their terms and conditions. If they approve us, we have to pay them interest. We provide collateral. That way, if we don't make the mortgage payment, they'll take the home from us, etc. He who has the gold makes the rules. And we've just, as a society, wholesale, abdicated both the banking function in its control and in its profitability to the commercial banks. That's just how we're brought up. It's how I was brought up. I had the student loans that I'd conventionally financed. I had the car note with the bank. I had their credit cards, etc. The golden rule, when you apply it to yourself through the banking process, the infinite banking concept, is you becoming your own banker by proactively, intentionally, purposefully capitalizing for yourself, building up money, building up capital for you to be able to control the banking function and profit from the banking function in your life instead of having to ask for permission. Do I qualify? Here's my blood. Here's my kidney. Here's my firstborn. Here's the paperwork on your time frame, etc. So for myself, I know that I've had unsavory interactions where I had some purpose, some intent, some idea, some plan of something that I wanted to do when commercial banking, conventional banking, was not on board with my plan. And I've had conversations with prospective clients and clients that have had these unsavory interactions. And I think that for folks that have had those interactions before, the idea, you could just say the title. I know I felt that way. You could just say the title, Becoming Your Own Banker, and they're excited about it. I know that the independence, the control aspect of becoming your own banker was very enticing to me, very intriguing. And sure, I wanted to know some details and I wanted to understand the concept well, etc. But even at face value, being my own banker sounded attractive to me because I know I'm always going to be on board with my plans. Now, there's something to be said about all the rest of what we can learn from becoming your own banker, such as rethink your thinking. I had a lot of thinking that I needed to rethink. There's also the arrival syndrome mentioned in the BYOB book. I needed to keep learning, and I have decided to be a perpetual student for my whole life and continue learning, stave off the arrival syndrome. So I really appreciated coming across this example, both because it came from Bob Hope, which just made me think about black and white childhood movies where he's just out there being funny and doing funny things. But then in real life, him saying something like a bank is a place that will lend you money if you can prove you don't need it. I mean, isn't that typically when, and I think of two examples, isn't that typically when we most want access to capital is, number one, we have some financial obstacle. There's some financial hardship, some impediment, some emergency, right? And then the other is the opportunity. Some financial opportunity presents itself. Well, in both of those situations, He who has the gold makes the rules. If you've been proactively capitalizing for yourself and there's an opportunity that presents itself, you can take advantage of it. If there's some financial obstacle that comes your way, some financial hardship, and you've been proactively amassing capital, aren't you better positioned to be able to address that situation? Absolutely, of course. So there's a lot of peace in being your own banker. It's a simple lifestyle because you're the one that controls it. Also, there are a lot of advantages because you are your own banker. You have the gold and you get to make the rules when it pertains to the banking function in your own life. So I hope that this has been helpful. If you've never seen my introductory presentation video to infinite banking, I'm going to encourage you to start there now that you've been introduced to the channel. You can find that at our website, durhamtalents.com. This conversation has been a great pleasure for me. I look forward to our next conversation. Have a great day. Take care.